Coffee is the worst traded commodity in the world. It's the most volatile because it's not an annual crop. If the price of beans goes up, now today, the guy in Illinois, guy in Nebraska is going to plant beans like fury, and you see it today. Quarter's over $7. Beans are almost got to $16, so they'll plant. And if beans were this price in September, the Brazilian and the Argentine and the South African farmers would produce. So if you have an annual crop, you can react pretty quickly. Stuff like cocoa, oranges. These are perennial crops that take a lot longer to develop and mature. But once they're there, they have a certain consistent reliability. Coffee's worst of all because it takes you at least 3 or 4 years to get a commercial size. So it's not an annual crop, but it doesn't have the reliability of a perennial crop. You really have to take care of it. It's expensive to take care of. It's what the guys in Central America are telling you. It's expensive. It's labor intensive. I can't get labor. It's expensive. So, coffee's misses the sweet spot of both conditions, perennial and annual.
You've made a name for yourself, I think, as a spread trader and someone who understands coffee spreads.
It allows you to take some protection. If you really believe that we will have, I think Olan today came out with a 10 million bag or 12 million bag shortage in Arabica for next year. If you believe that, do you buy futures or do you buy some spreads? Because coffee has very, very rarely inverted. I want to take a look at a chart, maybe 2010, but prior to that was 1997. And back then, apples were a nickel and mom was cute, but you inverted 25, 28 cents. If you invert today, if you have to go to price rationing for coffee, frankly, that number doesn't exist. Do you have to invert by $1? I think recently you've seen the new crop spread in the deck and the March 22, 23. Follow that, and that gives you an expression of where the market's going. If you do that, you have recently deck 22, 23 has been trading roughly 4 to 5 cents, and the market's telling you we are totally blind. We don't have an opinion because you're not a cash and carry, which would be 12 cents. You're not an inverted,
right? So
you're kind of half pregnant. If coffee prices were $3 rather than say $1.50 or $1.75, whatever they pay,
right?
It's $3 or $4. What's the magnitude of the impact on a per cup basis? What price do you have to go to convince people, no, you can't afford? The only time, if you look over the past, virtually since inception, since coffee started being exported, the only time you really materially impacted the consumption of coffee was 1976, 77, when coffee prices got to $3.40 in April 77. And consumption actually globally did go down because it got so expensive. But what is the equivalent of $3.40, 77 prices today? I don't know. Somebody could figure it out. If you go to a deficit and if you have another drought in the spring in Brazil, and you come up with another 30 million bags in 2022, it's Katie bar the door. You're done. Stick a fork in. You will have to go to a price where you will tell the consumer, nope, try tea, try hot chocolate. You can't afford this beverage.